You know, I can't believe I sat through this entire movie and I thought that the girl playing Antonio Banderas' henchwoman assassin lady, I thought that was the girl from The Hate You Give, but it turns out that was actually the girl from You Season 3. That's crazy because those two look just alike. I gotta admit though, I'm actually very relieved that it wasn't the girl from The Hate You Give because when I watched the trailer, I didn't necessarily think that this role suited her. So I was actually glad I didn't have to like trash on an actress that I love. It's not like the girl who actually played this role did any better, but at least it wasn't the actress that I love. So, anyways, Uncharted. Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and this is my review of the brand new video game adaptation Uncharted. It's also a PS4 exclusive, which I got a confession to make, guys. Before I start my review, I've not played Uncharted. I was an Xbox kid. I still am an Xbox kid. I mean, I do have a PlayStation now, but I may get around to playing Uncharted, but it's probably looking less and less likely by the day. But yeah, I was an Xbox kid, so I did watch Chris Smoove play Uncharted though, so I think that counts for something. I mean, although I didn't get the first hand experience myself, watching Chris, I'm pretty sure a lot of you can agree, watching Chris Smoove play video games is it's kind of like being there yourself. So I think I kind of get a pass for it, but I really don't. So before I start my review, I just want to say that, and I'm going to be judging this movie strictly from a movie standpoint. You know, I understand that it is a movie, but it's also a video game, and I know people will be comparing back and forth things between the video game and the movie. I'm going to compare what I remember from the Chris Smoove videos, but I'm also going to be judging this movie strictly on a movie standpoint. So yeah, I just gotta let you guys know that beforehand before I just start saying some stuff and you guys want to correct me all in the comments, just in case I call Nathan Drake an architect and somebody wants to say he's an explorer. Like, oh, okay, I get it. I'm gonna do my best to explain these characters and explain my feelings on the movies. So just slow your roll, guys. Thank you. So Uncharted was directed by Ruben Fletcher, who was also responsible for Zombieland and Venom, which when I found that out, I was kind of impressed and disappointed at the same time because I love Zombieland, but I hate Venom. They're such on two opposite ends of my movie spectrum. Like I'm surprised the same guy directed that movie, but nonetheless. So this movie stars Tom Holland as the young Nathan Drake, who's an architect, an explorer, a bartender, and just all around very skilled, very talented guy. And he's recruited by Sully, played by Mark Wahlberg, who needs his help finding this long lost treasure that him and Nathan's long lost brother Sam were working on, and the treasure's worth billions and billions of dollars, and it leads them on this crazy adventure where essentially Antonio Banderas, who's the villain in this movie, is trying to stop them from finding it. It's one of those, basic adventure movies where it's a long lost treasure that needs to be found. These guys have the skills to find it, and now we have the movie Uncharted. Now, I do want to apologize if I made that plot seem very basic or not what it is. Like I said, I only have vivid memories of what Chris Smoove did back in the day when he played Uncharted, and I don't know. I only know of the story, how it was told to me through the movie. So I apologize if I didn't explain the plot in the best way possible, just for the video game people. But that's the gist of the movie. Like I said, it's an adventure movie just based off a video game, so it's nothing to get too worked up over here. But to really get into what I liked about the movie, Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg have phenomenal chemistry here. Look, they actually work really well together. I think Tom Holland actually plays Nathan Drake pretty well. Like I said, I'm pretty sure, guys, people are going to judge me because I don't know the character of Nathan Drake that well, but I know who he's supposed to be, and I know essentially what he's supposed to do, and Tom Holland covers all those basics. He checks all those boxes off. He does a very good job of playing this character. It's honestly, for me, it's kind of like when it comes to people who play like iconic superheroes, and it doesn't go for every single actor because some of them stand out. Hugh Jackman, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, in some sorts. Like they play various roles, but for me personally, I just haven't seen Tom Holland do much more than just Spider-Man. So honestly, seeing him play something else, it was kind of refreshing, very nice to see. And I actually thought he did a very good job of playing this character. Essentially, I feel like he could have been just compared to like a more cooler Peter Parker in this movie, but I honestly didn't see Peter too much in this movie. I saw Nathan Drake. I saw who he was portraying, so I really liked that a lot. And I thought Mark Wahlberg did a really good job of playing Sully. Like I was more introduced to this Sully character because I only remember really vivid things of Nathan, and I remember some things about his past and some twists that happened with his brother Sam in the video games. But overall, I was really introduced to this character Sully, and I thought Mark Wahlberg played him very well. He's supposed to be this this guy who's kind of like, he wants you to trust him, but he's untrusting as well. He's trying to let you know that he's untrusting, but at the same time, he needs to gain your trust in order for him to get what he needs done. And he plays that role really well. And this whole game, honestly, this entire movie plays on that narrative of, this is a very dangerous game to be in when you're trying to steal from other people and you're doing this whole thing of, finding lost treasure worth billions of dollars. You got to know who you can trust in this game. And the movie does a pretty good job. It does a pretty good job of portraying that between these two, between Tom and Mark. When the movie plays on this with that narrative with other characters, it doesn't really work that well. But that's for a later. That's for a later section. That's for the bad. Right now, we're just gonna stick on the good. And like I said, Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, those are the good. Another thing I actually really liked about this movie was the stunt work and the cameras and the camera angles. I mean, honestly, the stunt work, like, I know he's Spider-Man and he's already like really jacked and ripped and he does all these swinging from buildings and all this other stuff, but I honestly thought, with if you really pay attention to like the stunt work he has to do in this movie, like, I actually thought he did pulled off a lot of it very well. Actually, the fight scenes too. The fight scenes are pretty, very well choreographed. I mean, I honestly was very impressed by that. There actually seemed to be a lot of effort put into this movie to where they want the stunts to seem real. They want these action scenes to seem intense, and that goes to toward the camera angles too. Look, I know there's a lot of shots that they have to capture from the video game and put them in the movie, and they definitely do that. But as far as some other shots that I was very impressed with, they made it feel like a video game. And what I mean is, like, you've played those interactive games where, you're at a building or something and you got to press X and it's just like you're watching them do it. And it's kind of like, or for example, when you're, and this is just me though, when you're playing a game and you're stuck on a level because you can't find a certain thing, I felt like one of the scenes definitely felt like that, where they split up and they just couldn't find something, and it felt like it was taking a long time, but it felt like a video game. It felt like, that's actually what would happen. So I actually liked the way they adapted that on screen. Other than that though, I mean, look, the stunt work and the camera work is phenomenal. They do a really good job. They have some really cool shots in the movie, but it's gonna get pretty confusing here, guys. I hope it doesn't get too confusing because I'm gonna get into the bad. And don't get me wrong, I did enjoy this movie, but there was definitely some bad to go along with this. So the thing that I didn't like about this movie, and it's just really just one, big giant thing, it's just the fact that this movie doesn't really have any oomph or energy, I would say. For example, I'm gonna say when we got out of the theater, I watched this movie with my friends. When I got out of the theater, one of my friends literally said Rel hated that movie, and I was like, no, I actually liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was pretty. I thought it was good. I thought it was okay. But he said my facial expression was flat. Like, you would have never been able to tell from my facial expression. And I got to be honest, that's really true, because while I was entertained from what I was watching, I just never, the energy of me being entertained never, reciprocated off my face. That was never just shown through the movie, because it was lacking. It was lacking energy. It was lacking in entertainment value. Like I said, there's some very entertaining stunt work, some very entertaining fight scenes, some very entertaining camera shots, some very entertaining dialogue between Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. But a big problem with me that starts with this movie is the rest of the cast. Like Antonio Banderas is in this movie, and he's okay. He's just, honestly, he's probably, if I'm being honest, he's playing the same villain he was in The Hitman's Bodyguard's wife. I know they were doing two separate things here. I think he was trying to destroy the world in that movie, and he's just finding treasure in this one. But he's playing the same guy, so he's not really doing anything special. And I gotta be honest, like, the Chloe character, the girl that they had, and they were trying to, pair her up with Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland, she did okay. I felt like for some reason they were trying to actually get Naomi Scott and they couldn't, so they got this girl, and it's like, all right, you're doing an okay job, I guess, but I really felt I just felt no energy from the rest of this cast. I felt like it was a very lackluster cast, and they were just doing stuff to fill in the runtime. A really big problem I have also with this is the fact that the girl that I was talking about in my intro, the girl who plays Antonio Banderas' henchman, they do something with her character. I can't get into it because spoiler territory, but they do something specifically with her character that literally made me tune out the rest of the movie. Like, I didn't care anymore. Like, I was just like, that's what we're gonna do? All right, well, I guess I'm just going to go through the motions with this movie, because clearly you guys don't really want to make anything entertaining out of this. I felt like the only thing they were trying to make out of the entertainment value was Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, which you get all of that from them. But as far as anybody else in this movie, you're not getting any you're not getting any energy. I just wasn't excited, you know. And I gotta be honest, for this movie to be only an hour and 52 minutes, it feels very long. Like I said, they do something with Antonio Banderas' henchwoman character. They do something with her, and once that happens, it's like, yo, this movie is dragging. Like it just takes forever to end. And I just don't care anymore. It really got to a point where I just didn't care what was going on anymore. Like I knew where this was gonna go. I knew this was gonna wrap up. I was just ready for it to end. If I'm being honest, like it just didn't do. It just didn't do it for me, if I'm being honest. Like I don't know. Of course, everybody knows about the big controversy over video game movies where they can't really capture that same magic that they get in a video game. You can't take that and put it on screen. But I feel like, I don't know, it hasn't, for me, video game movies are okay. Like, I mean, as far as the best video game movie I've ever seen, it's not even based off a video game. It's Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds, like that movie's incredible, but that's not even based off a video game. And I feel like the thing these people forget to do when they're making a movie based off a video game is the fact that they have to actually entertain us for whatever runtime they're going to put this together for. Like I feel like they just do fan service. I felt like this movie just did a lot of fan service for the Uncharted fans, because people in my crowd were very interactive when certain things were going on, and when Nathan Drake was doing Nathan Drake-esque things. Like I said, that part is intriguing, and I actually really had fun with what was going on screen. But when it came to literally anybody else but Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, I'm just like, bro, I don't care. You guys are. I'm not gonna say they're not trying, because I've accused a lot of movies so far this year of just not trying with certain things, but they're trying. They definitely are trying. They're not succeeding, but they're trying. They're trying to put something together here. They didn't succeed. Look, overall, I really think people who are honestly bigger fans of the Uncharted games and who've actually played them firsthand and remember the story pretty well, I think you're going to have a good time in this movie. It's just me personally, there's just no oomph. There's no reason to like resonate with the film. There's no reason that I'm sitting here like on the edge of my seat, like all this, like I'm not, you know, overwhelmed by the jaw-dropping action. I'm not saying there's jaw-dropping action. There's action. It's not jaw-dropping, but there's definitely action in the movie. But I'm just not overwhelmed by what I'm seeing. Like it just didn't do anything for me. And that may be to the fact that I didn't play these games, but don't get me wrong, like I know the story of Uncharted, and I know where it's supposed to go. And honestly, where the movie left off, I'm hoping there is a sequel to this movie. I am. I'm just hoping they try more with the supporting cast. And honestly, I understand that I'm not blaming this solely on the cast, just because the movie just doesn't really have any layers to it. You know what I'm saying? It's like Antonio Banderas and these extra characters, they're not taking away from anything in the movie, but they're really not adding to it either. It's kind of just like, what's your purpose here? Like, you're just here to play the villain? Okay, cool. And I gotta be honest, that in the trailer, you know, when Tom Holland's talking to that Scottish guy, British guy, whatever, and he's doing that really, really thick accent, you can't understand a thing he says. They really, really mean it. Like, you can't understand a thing the guy is saying the entire movie. And I honestly, it got to the point where I wasn't sure if they were just doing this as a running gag, or if they really just were like, yeah, you're just going to talk like that for the rest of the movie, because you can't understand a word the guy is saying. And honestly, like, after the first time with Tom Holland told, what? Like, what did you say? Like, it's funny then, but it really doesn't get any funnier after that. It just gets to the point where it's like, bro, fix your accent. Just speak English. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and give Uncharted a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Look, I'm going to do a little rating. I do realize I do need to do a little rating scale soon. Well, I'm going to probably keep the stars, but I'm going to do a rating scale soon, just because 2.5 out of 5 ain't as bad as you think. Like I said, I don't really hate this movie. I don't think it's necessarily a bad movie. I just think it's like okay in capital letters. I just really think it drags from not having any other entertainment value from the two main characters. I really just think this movie could use some other element of entertainment rather than just relying on star power from Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. But look, that's my review for Uncharted, guys. Look, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and if you've seen Uncharted, what do you think about it? If you played the games, which one is your favorite? Look, I've always been interested for that Uncharted 3, A Thief's End, or that might be 4. Look, I didn't have a PlayStation, look, so don't judge me too much. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts and comments in the comment section, so please be sure to leave them. Thank you so much.